The night was darker than usual. The dense fog clung to the trees like ghosts from the past, and the full moon shone ominously through the clouds. She lived alone in a small cabin just outside the city, the perfect spot for someone who enjoyed solitude, but solitude had a price. You had heard the remnant whispered in the village about the forest surrounding your home. People spoke of creatures, wolves larger than men, and eyes glowing in the dark, but you were never one to believe in fairy tales until tonight. A soft knock on your door started you out of your thoughts. The clock struck midnight as you made your way to the door, curiosity outweighing your fear. As you opened it, a tall, lean man stood there. His face was familiar, too familiar. Jungkook, you whispered, your voice trembling. Jungkook was known far and wide not just as a mafia leader but as someone you should never cross paths with. His name sent chills through the city, his reputation pointed with blood. But that was not the worst of it. Leftly, there was whispers of him being more than human, of him being something darker, a werewolf. He smiled a cold, eerie smile that did not reach his eyes. I am here for you. Days passed since his first visit, but you could not shake off the encounter. His voice, deep and chilling, echoed in your mind. You try to brush it off as a mere coincidence, perhaps a scare tactic to make you leave your home. But why would the mafia leader, let alone a werewolf, be interested in you? Then it happened again. This time you were not at home. You were in the city, walking through the busy streets when you saw him, his piercing dark eyes following your every move. He did not approach, but you know, he was watching, waiting. That evening. He come to your cabin once more. This time there was no knock. The door opened without a sound, and there he was, standing in your living room like he belonged there. Jungkook, what are you doing here? You can't just. He raised a hand, silencing you. I can't, and I will. You are coming with me. Your heart raced, fear gripping you like a voice. Why me? You whispered, your voice shaky. He tilted his head, eyes glowing in the dim light. Because I need you, and I always get what I want. Before you could protest, he stepped closer, his presence suffocating. You are going to marry me. What? Are you out of your mind? His smile winded, a predator's smile. Do you think this is a request? Days passed and you were trapped in Jungkook's mansion, a place far removed from the bustling city. It was an ancient building, almost Gothic in its appearance. The walls seemed to whisper, and shadows dances in the corner of every room. You had not seen Jungkook in a few days since he dropped the bombshell of an impending wedding. But you could not escape his man, his bag. You realized, guarded every exit. One night, unable to sleep, you wandered the halls. That's when you saw it, a large humongous door at the end of the corridor, hidden behind layers of velvet curtains. You had not noticed it before, but tonight it called to you. As you pushed the door open, the cold air inside made you shiver. The room was dark, but you could make out an altar in the center. Strange symbols were drawn on the floor, and candles flickered, casting eerie shadows on the walls. And then you saw him, Jungkook, standing in the center of the room. His back to you, his shirt was discarded, and you could see the intricate tattoos that covered his back, but that was not what terrified you. His skin seemed to repulse as if something was trying to break free, and then his eyes, they glowed a deep crimson in the dim light. Jungkook, he turned slowly, his gaze looking onto yours, but this was not the man you had met. This was something else, something ancient and monstrous. I told you not to leave your room. His voice growled deeper and more guttural than before. Now you will see what I truly am. She took a step back, your breath hitching as his body began to shift. His bones cracked, muscles twisted, and fur sprouted from his skin. Within moments, he was no longer a man but a creature, a werewolf. You should not have come here, he snarled, his voice barely human. She woke up in a cold sweat, your body aching from being thrown across the room by the beast Jungkook had become. He has transformed back into his human form just as quickly, his eyes returning to their usual dark intensity. He had not hurt you, not seriously anyway, but the fear was still fresh. The next morning, Jungkook came to your room, his face devoid of any emotion. He did not speak immediately, just stared at you as through calculating something. Finally, you mustered the courage to ask, why are you doing this to me? Why do you want me to marry you? He sat on the edge of the bed, his expression unreadable. This is not about love. Then what is it about? You demanded, feeling anger rising within you. The word hung in the air like a curse. You blinked, confused. Revenge. Against whom? Jungkook's lips curled into a bitter smile. Your family, your ancestors, they are the reason I am like this. 80 years ago, your great grandfather betrayed mine, leaving us cursed forever born to this monstrous form. Your heart sank. You had no idea about any of this. What does that have to do with me? He leaned in closer, his face inches from yours. You are the last of your bloodlines, and I will end it by marrying you. You will be mine, born to me, cursed as I am. That is your fate. Tear flicks your eyes as the weight of his words sunk in. You, you don't care about me at all. His silence was answer enough. Over the following days, you plotted your escapes. You could not let yourself become part of his twist, revenge plan. Every night, you explored the mansion in secret, looking for a way out. Jungkook, despite his cold demeanor, seemed to have softened slightly towards you. You wondered if part of him was still human, or if it was all part of his manipulative plan. But then one evening you overheard something that changed everything. Jungkook was talking to one of his men in the hallway outside your room. I can't let her go. The curse won't break until she's dead. Your blood can cold. This was not just about marriage. He was going to kill you. That night, as the mansion cracked and moaned under the weight of secrets, you confronted him. Jungkook, you stood in the darkened hall, the only light coming from the moon filtering through the stained glass windows. Why did not you tell me? Why did not you tell me that you planned to kill me? He turned to you, the expression unreadable once again. You are never mean to now, but it does not change anything. Does not it? You step forward, your heart racing. You are a monster, Jungkook. His eyes flared red. I know. Before you could react, he lunged towards you, grabbing you by the wrist and dragging you deeper into the mansion. You think you can escape me? His voice was low, dangerous. You can't. You never could. So, guys, if you want a bonus part of this FF, then complete the goal of 5k views, and then I make a bonus part for you.